Today's video is about what it's really like to have a Goldendoodle puppy join you and your family. It's about setting realistic expectations about those first few days and weeks with you. We'll be looking at 4 things that you as a new Goldendoodle puppy owner need to know about. Welcome to my Goldendoodle Diary, the channel about Goldendoodles, groodles, doodle dogs, as represented by Sophie and her furry friends. Consider subscribing to this channel, it makes a huge difference. And if you get value from this video, do leave us a thumbs up. Let's not forget that when you first get your doodle puppy, there is a definite period of adjustment for everyone. However much it was anticipated and planned, there are some home truths which may catch you unawares. So, reaching back to my memories of Sophie as a newly acquired pup, here are 4 things to be mindful of. With all the excitement about a puppy joining the household, there may be an unexpected little thing that happens. Not everyone in the household may immediately bond with the pup in the way you have imagined, and that might even be you. This was a big surprise to me in our household. Despite Simon knowing we'd be getting a dog for a long time in advance, he kind of acted odd around Sophie for the first few weeks. I remember saying to him, "Don't you want to pet the puppy?" And he said, "Oh no thank you," and he made an excuse to go somewhere. I thought this was odd because Sophie was just being cute and sweet. I guess there was a lot of change all at once in the house, and some people, like Simon, take a little time to get used to it all. As time passed, we got through some of the challenges of puppyhood, and their bond grew and grew, until Simon became the classic case of the husband who didn't really want a dog, totally changing his tune. That is to say, he got completely smitten with our girl. There's a meme going around on social media which goes something like this: "Never was there a stronger bond than the one between a doodle dog and the man who didn't want a doodle dog." But whether this concerns a spouse, a child, or you as the main dog owner, just be patient and let the bond grow naturally, in its own good time. Even if you've raised puppies before, your new family member is almost always going to be different. Completely different to what you may have imagined or to dogs you've had before. That's also true for if the dog or dogs you've had before were Goldendoodles. I can vouch for that with 2 sets of friends who got 2 Goldendoodles each and discovered for themselves just how different they can be, even those that were a blood relation to each other. In the first instance, one is chilled and social, the other timid and needs time to acclimatise to new situations. In the second instance, one is brash, charismatic and independent, and the other is eager to please and smoochy. So in those first few days and weeks, you will be working out who is this particular character that's joined your family. You'll be growing a brand new trust and bond between you while figuring out what makes it tick, what it responds to, and how you're going to live together. Now let me tell you about my mum. She has owned dogs back to back, often 2 or 3 at a time her whole adult life. She tells me that no matter what, her experience of raising each of them has been very different. I should know, when I was a kid and lived with her, some dogs were independent, others nervous, others incredibly intuitive, some were food orientated, and others fussy eaters. So I thought I knew a bit about dogs, but it's not until I got Sophie that I learned there's such a thing as separation anxiety, something completely new to my experience. And that's the challenge I had with her. So the upshot is, expect the unexpected. Related to this is being flexible with the way you teach your new puppy. What's really tricky is that although you're still figuring out how this puppy ticks, teaching and training in one form or another begins from day 1. Training techniques you've learned while preparing for this puppy, or even things that work perfectly well for your previous ones, might not be right for this particular pup. It all depends on lots of character traits. Perhaps one is more headstrong, another more eager to please. Maybe it's food orientated, so it's easily trained with treats, or super motivated to learn with a favourite toy as a reward. You will likely get plenty of good advice from other dog owners, books, videos and trainers to try out. But if a certain technique just doesn't work, don't push it, because there's often lots of different approaches to teach a pup something in particular, or to resolve a specific behavioural problem. I'll give you one example. Like many young puppies, Sophie had a tendency to jump up on people. When this happened, we used an often recommended technique to turn our bodies around on her. But to be honest, it just didn't work with Sophie, and she just kept on jumping at our back instead. But then we found out there is a different and in fact opposite technique of dealing with puppy jumping up. And that's to walk slightly forward towards the dog and lift the knee up so that it's bound to back off. That worked for Sophie right away. But many people still swear by the first technique, which works perfectly well for their dog. So there is no right or wrong, just techniques that are suitable or unsuitable for different dogs. Okay, so maybe the title Trail of Destruction is a little dramatic, but let's not overlook the reality that all puppies have those little sharp baby teeth which itch to bite into everything they can find. And without any malice, because it's completely natural for puppies to use their teeth, a lot. The term land shark comes to mind during the pre-teething and teething phase, which doesn't end until they're about 6 months old. They will bite whatever is nearby. That may include your furniture, household items, and highly likely your hands. Hence the need for chew toys to divert their chewing tendencies to something better. Little bites and scratches on your hand are a sure sign that you have a young puppy. And if you have a standard sized Goldendoodle puppy, it is big and strong, and so those bites and scratches can be painful. And what it means is that if you have elderly people or young children interacting with your pup, you need to be extra careful at this early stage and be sure to supervise. In some cases, it might involve putting on protective gloves when handling your puppy. If that sounds a little extreme, I'll share this little anecdote with you. When Sophie was very young, I had little scratch marks from her teeth all over my hands. At work, I was called in to attend a client meeting and literally sat on my hands trying to hide them because they looked so unsightly. So there it is. They're cute, they're lovely, but they're not yet trained, so they can do some damage. And speaking of which, I highly advocate not only puppy-proofing your home, but to restrict where your puppy can go whenever you can't supervise them. That means not giving your puppy free roam of your whole house until they are fully trained. I made this video about setting up house boundaries at the beginning. Restricting access not only saves your furniture and furnishings from destruction and potty accidents, but if puppy chomps into something and swallows it, it may get a dangerous obstruction in its tummy, which may require an emergency operation. So it's for the puppy's safety as well. I advocate doing anything you can to prevent a trail of destruction and to set your puppy up for success. And other than all this, I hope you take in and enjoy all the puppy love. It is a beautiful time, it is a challenging time, and I'm sure it will be a time that you treasure in years to come as you go through the whole life journey together with your dog. And if you're wondering about things like the future size, the future coat, and future appearance of your Goldendoodle puppy, you may like to check out the video on screen now. Thanks for spending time with us today, and see you again soon. Bye for now.